Hey, how are you? Are you well? Good. What? Oh, I know I said I wasn't going to come back, but did you believe me? I mean, really? How many times have I said that? I am back, folks, but I'm not here to talk about alcohol anymore, because as you know from the previous video, I have given it up. And I still have given it up. 8 months later, something like that, I am still sober, and I will continue to be so if I have anything to do with it. Has it been difficult? Not really, no. It's been relatively simple, really. You have to think about the reasons why you want to stop drinking. You have to make those real reasons, and you just have to do it. It's as simple as that. You do have to think about alcohol in a completely different way, but we won't go into that here because it will put some of you off. And you've got to want to be sober. That's the main thing, is you've got to want to do it. I don't think there is such a thing as willpower. I don't think willpower works. We've all been on diets and things before, haven't we, folks? And just relying on willpower is not enough for us to lose the weight, because more often than not the weight will come back on, or you give up halfway through because you're bored. So you do have to change the way you think about alcohol if you want to give it up. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say about it, really, because I don't want to go into it because it'll sound like I'm trying to preach, and I'm not going to do that. So thank you to everybody who left wonderful messages on my last video, my goodbye video. A little bit of a song for you there. You weren't expecting that, were you? That was a bonus. Just for you. Well, not you. You. Yeah, you. Yeah. I like you. I don't like them. You've been very gracious and saying that effectively you'd watch me bang on about anything, not just alcohol. Well, some of you would. So I thought I would take that on board and start thinking about talking about other stuff. I'm an old git. I'm nearly 50. I'm 50 in June, by the way. Postcards would be nice. Postcards? Don't send me a postcard. I don't want a bloody postcard. I want a birthday card. What's they postcards for? I'm going on holiday, that's why. No, I'm not. I wish I was. So, yeah, I thought I'd start talking about other stuff. But this is difficult, you see, because I've been talking about brewing for so long now. What else would you talk about, Roy, that would keep people interested? Bearing in mind your audience. The people that are most likely to watch this would be people that have been watching me brew beer over the past 5 years or so. So we've got to find something else to talk about, haven't we? Because we don't do beer anymore, Roy. So what else are we going to talk about? Well, I'm going to show you very briefly a few things today that I'm going to do in a video, and I'm going to talk to you about it more in the video, and we'll go through it then to give you an idea as to what it's all about. So what I've got here, and I'm drinking at the moment just to prove it, look. Is milk kefir, K-E-F-I-R, and milk kefir is made using full fat milk and some kefir grains. That's it. The kefir grains, milk kefir grains, look like little baby, little tiny, really, really tiny. Ooh, little lovely they are. Ooh. Like little baby cauliflowers. And I would dig some out here to show you. In fact, let's see if I can do that, shall I? Without making a mess, because I do have one here that I've got on the go, folks. So I'll see if I can dig it out and show you very briefly. There we go. So I'll put this in front of the camera. So see what you see there. Say what you see what you say. Those are little kefir grains, okay? And they're called grains, but they're not really grains. But I suspect the reason they call them grains is because they're used much like grains are in the fermenting process, to produce a end product. And in this case, it will be a yogurty kind of drink that is packed full, and this is the important bit really, packed full of probiotics. And of course, probiotics are good for your stomach, and they will help you digest food better and line the stomach. And of course, a healthy stomach has been proven to be healthy for the old noggin as well, which in my case is a bonus because I am a little bit mad. Not really. Anybody with mental health problems that suffers from stomach problems will benefit from drinking milk kefir or water kefir. Now, water kefir, much the same. Here is one I prepared earlier because I knew you'd ask me. This looks like well, effectively this looks like it looks like a load of piss, doesn't it, folks? Let's be honest. But the reason it looks like that is because there's 2 slices of lemon in the top. Down the bottom there are the kefir grains. I don't need to take these out to show you because you can more or less see them. They're a little bouncy. They look like little beads, little plastic beads really. They're oddly shaped, coarse shaped beans. Beans? They're not beans, right? You don't have them with, you know, like sausage and mash or anything. They're like little beads, and they're sort of squidgy and plasticky and gel-like. And they effectively do exactly the same thing as the kefir grains do in the milk, only of course with water. So how are you gonna get the probiotics from the kefir grains in water to produce anything? Well, much like any other brewing process, you need to throw in some sugar. So the kefir grains will go in there with the same amount of sugar, and you chuck in a couple of slices of lemon and a bit of fruit. In this case I've been chucking in some dried figs. Yeah, figs. I love saying figs. Figs. Or dates. Yeah, dates as well, you can chuck them in. Any fruit you can chuck in really, because it will take the goodness out of the fruit, put it into the water, and you get a nice little drinky poos out of it. But I hear you saying, Roy, what about the alcoholic content? Because I don't want to be drinking alcohol because I'm a good boy and I don't drink anymore. You do though, don't you? I'm not judging, mate. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine. We've all got our, you know what I mean? I take heroin, so I don't actually take heroin. My heroin is kefir. No, it's not. It smells like yogurt. It is basically yogurt. What was I saying? Oh yes, so you put the sugar in there, and again give it 36 hours, 48 hours or so, and before you know it, you've got a probiotic drink. All the water has been infused with the probiotics that has been created and infused into the water from the grains eating the sugar. And of course there will be a very slight amount of alcohol in there. It's less than 1%, folks. Don't worry. It's less than 1%. To put it into perspective, if you eat some fruit that is on the turn, chances are that's got alcohol in it. You never thought of that, did you? But yeah, it's true. So if you left a banana out and it's gone, you know, it's on the turn and it's all brown, mate. Not brown as in brown bread dead, but bran. Not bran as in the stuff you put on your cornflakes. You don't put bran on your cornflakes, do you? Well, some people do, don't they? Bran. But brown, as in the colour, chances are it's got alcohol in it. And again, less than 1%. It's not going to kill you. It's not going to affect your liver. It's absolutely fine. And unlike alcohol, you're not going to be having 7 or 8 pints of the stuff. You're only going to have 1 bottle a day. That's all you're going to do. You'll start off with something like 175 to 200 mLs. Then once you've done a few days of that, you'll bump it up a little bit until you can have a normal 500 ml bottle a day of your water kefir. As well as water kefir, I'm going to show you something else. Kombucha. That is a little bit more exciting, isn't it? Kombucha, sounds good. Here's a kombucha I prepared earlier. And there's one of my organs that I had taken out of me just last week. And just to prove it, I'll get it out for you. If I can. There it is. Now that is my pancreas. Right, and tastes good. It's a split one. Look, it's hanging off. Yeah. It's fine, don't worry. This is kombucha, okay? And that thing I just showed you, that sort of gelatinous, horrible, manky thing, it's fine, don't worry about it, is Scobie, folks. Now, Scobie is a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. Some people say colony, so instead of saying culture, some people would say colony. Depends where you go, like most things. People are funny and they then get the ump over. It's not colony, it's not culture. Well, whatever you want to call it, doesn't really matter. It does the same thing. So shut up before you start, alright? So what you do with that is, I'll get the band back on, there we go. So what you do with your kombucha is, essentially kombucha is a fermented tea. Okay, so you get 5 or 6 black tea bags, and it's important they're black. They could be green, because green tea has in effect the same qualities, but they recommend that for your first batch you start out with black tea. And you put the kettle on as you would normally and you let it rest. You put some sugar in there as well with it, and you top it up with water, let it sit at room temperature. You put in your Scobie, your symbiotic colony or / culture of bacteria and yeast, and you leave it for 7 days like you would an alcoholic beverage. Water kefir only takes 36 to 48 hours. Similarly, milk kefir only takes 36 to 48 hours. What's the difference between all of these 3 things, folks? Well, kombucha is one of the most high, how can I phrase this? It's the drink out of all of them with the most probiotics in. That took a while, didn't it? Why couldn't I word that better? Because I'm not a professional, folks, that's why. So yeah, if you think about, if you've got digestive problems, some people have IBS, I have IBS, or I have had IBS. So if you think about people with digestive problems, a good thing to take is probiotics, and normally you'd take supplements. And here's one I prepared earlier, folks. I did prepare something. Probiotics. These have got various strains of probiotics that are good for your stomach. And the idea is that you take them over a period of time and it helps settle your stomach, and healthy stomach, healthy mind. But a probiotic yogurt in a supermarket has got 4 types at most of cultures in. Your kombucha over there, your kombucha daddy, yeah, it's the daddy of them all. It's got 10 times that, so it's got like 40 different types of probiotics that are good for your belly. And yeah, it's not for everyone though, because the kombucha is quite vinegary. It's not vinegar. If you leave it too long it will turn into vinegar, but it's quite acidic, much like vinegar is, and it does have a tang to it that is not everyone's cup of tea. However, what you can do, cup of tea, do you get it? It's made from tea. What you can do is you can take your kombucha, you siphon it, of course, as you would normally, as you were siphoning beer and stuff, and you put it into your bottles. And of course, rather than just putting sugar into your bottles to make your fermented tea, you put in apple juice or pineapple juice or any other type of juice, strawberry, you know, you can put whatever you want in there, and you'll get a flavoured kombucha that way, and it will give it a little bit of something, take away some of the twang as well, make it taste a little bit more palatable. But you don't have that issue with the water kefir. The water kefir doesn't really have any taste to it as such, because you're putting the lemon slices in there, slices of lemon, can see at the top there, and there's a couple of figs in there as well, I think. You're more likely to end up with sort of a lemony drink. And again, you can put whatever you like in there. When you bottle it, you can put strawberries in there. Put whatever you like in. I've got a big batch behind the camera here that's got blueberries in it. So it's all about mucking around with it and seeing what you like best, folks. So in the next video I throw up, I am going to show you how to do some of these things, and they really are simple. The kombucha is probably the most difficult one because you do have to wait for the tea to cool down and brew like you would brew a normal cup of tea, only on a grander scale. And you need to let the temperature get down to room temperature levels, so around about 21, 22 degrees, there or thereabouts, before you can throw your Scobie in. And I'll talk to you about that, and I'll show you the Scobie again in the next video. Scobies do look a little bit rare, but the good thing about the Scobie, folks, is that whenever you brew a kombucha, it will create another Scobie. So what you end up with, let me just bend it down here, and this is the first time I've bent over for a while. This, look at that. This is my this is my collection of Scobies, folks. Yes, this is, they call it a Scobie Hotel. There's no real reason to call it that. And effectively, each time you brew a kombucha, you'll get another Scobie. Chances are they'll be quite small Scobies until you use them and use them and use them, and then they'll grow, of course, and then you end up with quite a few of them. I have got, as you can see, quite a few in here, and I only started with one. So they do grow, and you end up with quite a few of them. And what you do is you put them into a separate vessel, as I've done there. You keep them totted up nice and fresh with kombucha. So what will happen is, once I finish that one, I'll take a quarter of a cup, something like that, to half a cup, depends how I feel, and I will siphon out some of the liquid that's in that hotel, and I'll put in some of the new kombucha to keep those Scobies happy. All of this information will be on the internet, so if you want to look for it yourself, you can, but if you want to see how I do it, I will show you at some point in the near future, so look out for that. The other thing to bear in mind, of course, is much like the Scobies, these little things here, the Kefir Grains, they multiply as well. So when I first started out doing this, I only had a very small packet, so probably about a teaspoon, maybe a tablespoon, if that, of these little grains, and as you can see, there's bloody loads of them now, and I've got in the fridge 2 pots of them, so they grow like mad. Once they get going, folks, you get loads of them, and you can chuck them away, you can put them on your plants in the garden, you can use them again and again. It's up to you what you do with them, really. You just keep them fed, keep them nice and healthy by refreshing the water and putting some more sugar in every week or so, and it keeps them nice and healthy. And of course they'll multiply as well while they're in the fridge, but they'll just do it at a slower rate. Similarly with the milk Kefir Grains, the more milk kefir you make, the more grains you'll get, and the grains will grow in size and multiply, etc, etc. The Kefir Grains for the milk take a little bit longer to multiply than the water Kefir Grains do, in my experience. So again, you need to bear that in mind. But the main thing we're getting out of this is lots of good probiotics for the stomach. It's mainly stomach related. You're not going to cure any known ills, alright? You're not going to stop getting cancer by drinking some of this stuff. It's just about putting something good into your belly. Particularly, you know, if you suffer from mental health problems or you have irritable bowel syndrome and stuff like that, this is good for you. This will help. A healthy belly, folks, leads to a healthy mind, and I can speak from experience with that. And of course, as we all know, alcohol Doesn't sit in the belly very well. This is why people tend to line the stomach with milk and things before they go out on the piss. Doesn't really do anything. You still got to get drunk. Doesn't work, folks. Doesn't work. So don't think that it does, because it doesn't. All right? You're kidding yourselves. This stuff works. It will line your stomach with good probiotics, and you'll end up a lot healthier in the stomach department. I wouldn't show you my stomach, but it's still big and fat from when I was drinking. It's not pleasant. No one wants to see that. It'd be like a pregnant baboon. You know, like a baboon's arse. It's all red. That's not good. That's not right, is it? No. But you know what I mean. So, and I wouldn't drink this stuff and tell you it's good if it wasn't, would I? And you know, because that's the sort of bloke I am. Now this stuff, the kefir, I made ice cream with it. What? Yeah, I made ice cream. I used real cream to make it rather than milk. So you can make ice cream with it. And what I did was I put it in the freezer for a while, and I took them out, and then I blended the frozen kefir with some normal milk or some leftover kefir milk, and got myself a nice sort of thick McDonald's shake. Other supermarkets / fast food restaurants / etc. are available, folks. I don't know why I said supermarkets. Couldn't think of the word. So there are things you can do. Put fresh fruit in the milk kefir, strawberries, bananas, blend it up. Lovely little drink first thing in the morning, last thing at night, up to you. What I tend to do is I'll have this in the morning, and I'll have my water kefir in the evening, and I'll mix it up with the occasional kombucha every other day, something like that. Don't drink too much of it. You don't need to. You only need to have like a very small amount of it, and you'll start feeling better after, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks maybe. You start getting a nice belly. Well, it's not never going. My belly's never going to be nice, folks. Right? It's just going to be this big fatty flabby thing hanging down there, a veranda over the toy shop thing. You know what I mean? But inside, it's going to be a lot better. So that's it. That's all I'm going to talk about for today. And in the next video, I'll show you how to do it. I'll put on a milk kefir. We'll do that. That will literally take a second. We'll do some water kefir. Take a little bit longer, maybe 3 or 4 seconds. And we'll do the complicated one, which is kombucha, which takes a little bit longer because you have to wait for the water to the boiled water and the tea to come down to room temperature. So that's it. Thanks for watching as usual. If you want me to do a video about a particular subject, folks, let me know. I'm happy to talk about things. Thingy things. If you want to know my opinion on the latest movies, I'll tell you. Don't get me started, folks. Don't get me started. I don't watch many films as I used to. As I get older, I think you just get a little bit bored. I need a film to keep me gripped for at least 15 minutes or 20 minutes. Otherwise I get bored and just want to go and do something else. Don't know why, but that comes with age, I suppose. So yeah, if you want me to talk about, I can talk about loads of things. Mental illness, I'm happy to talk about that. Probiotic drinks, giving up alcohol. If you want to know how I gave up, let me know, and I'll do a video on that. Obviously, it's a little bit awkward on this channel because I'm showing you how to make alcohol, and then I'll be talking about how to give up drinking, which is a little bit weird, isn't it? A little bit sort of odd. But you know, if you want me to talk about it, I'll talk about it. I don't care. I'm happy to talk about most things. So that's all. Watch out for the videos, as I said. And in the words of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Bacon Sarnie, I'll be back.